Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanovsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path in a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up.
Welcome to 2024, dear friends, conversationalists, thrill seekers, all across the fruited plain. It's the Career Guru coming to you in the new and exciting 2024. Dum-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. Looking forward to a wonderful new year. And with that, I want to touch base on the blessings that I issued to everyone at the close of 2023, health, wealth, and time to enjoy it. Well, health, I can't really do anything about. Wealth, I'm hoping to help you with. Time to enjoy it, it's up to the maker. Okay? So, with that in mind, some of the things that I really wanted to touch upon based on the feedback that I received from our wonderful listeners and podcasters and so on and so forth. Money, one of my favorite topics, which is why people seek new careers in the first place, and something that I deal with all the time. I want to tell you that the salaries are up in the healthcare sector. Tremendous money is being offered right now to the graduates of skilled programs such as dental assisting, medical assisting, hospital central service, all these wonderful professions out there. All of the big healthcare companies in Massachusetts are offering a lot more money than they did in 2023. From the second half of 2023, salaries really started spiking. It's as if by wave of a magic wand, the management of these institutions have scratched their heads and said, gee, maybe we're not paying these people enough. And so they started to pay more. I seriously want you to explore the possibilities in the healthcare sector in Massachusetts and beyond. But in Massachusetts in particular, the money is getting really, really better. Okay? And so this is something you need to consider. And since you're making all this new acquired wealth, since you're beginning to acquire it, what do you do with all that money? Well, this is where the subject of economics comes into play. Okay? Now, I am not an economist by any stretch of the imagination, but as a person who runs a business and as a person who's managed to survive the last 30 years of marital bliss and family economics, I believe I have something to share with you. Having, of course, listened to some of the people wiser than myself in this field. And as we move forward in 2024, I would like to speak to people who are experts in this field, who are going to be able to offer you some helpful advice as far as your money management is concerned. To get us started, I would like to introduce you to a point of what exactly is economics and how does it relate to your life. One of the best answers that I had found about economics came from a noteworthy economist in the United States by name of Thomas Sowell, who happens to be a hero of mine. I highly recommend that you look up Thomas Sowell. That would be Thomas Sowell, Sowell. He is a magnificent economist with exceptional ability to explain complex topics in economics without the use of fancy language, graphs, or anything else, and bring things down to their basic understanding so any person can relate and understand economics. So we'll delve into that. Basic explanation of what economics actually is this. Economics as a field is the study of the use of scarce resources which have alternative uses. Now, it's pretty simple, but still I want to explain it further. Once again, what is economics? It is the study of the use of scarce resources which have alternative uses. Now, what's the scarcest resource that we have? In reality, it's time. Because we're only here for a finite period of time on this planet, and we don't really know. We know what our birthday is, but we have no idea when we're going to leave this world and shed our mortal coil. But with that in mind, while we are here, this is our scarce resource. meaning something that we never have enough of. Now, it doesn't pertain to economics. I'm talking about time. Economics, when we talk about that, we're talking about money. Money is the scarcest resource of all. And whatever it is that you use for money. Some people use barter system. They trade. But everybody does trading one way or the other. You trade your time that you put in at your workplace, 8 hours a day at the very least. Okay? You sacrifice your time for economic gain. Now, you could have used your time elsewhere. It is a scarce resource that you can use alternatively. Well, instead of going to work, you could sit home and watch Netflix, or you could go out in a park, okay? Or you could go and get a different job and make more money. But this is a limited resource that you have, which has alternative uses, meaning you can use your time elsewhere. And when we talk economics, we are talking about money. Money is that scarce resource that you can use elsewhere. What do I have? I just got my paycheck, and what do I do with it? Do I pay for food? Do I pay for shelter? Or do I go out and buy myself a new car with that money? Okay? This is what we're talking about. We have a finite amount of money, meaning just this much you have in your bank account. Now, what are you going to do with it? There's never been enough of that resources to satisfy everyone completely. That is always the greatest constraint in this scarcity of resources. Money, there's never too much. It's either not enough or none at all. I want you to focus on what I just said. Money, there's never too much. Never too much. Who says there's too much money? No one will ever say, I got too much money. You talk to Elon Musk, will he tell you that he has too much money? This is the richest man in the world. I forgot what his net worth is, but it's in tens of billions of dollars. Huge sums of money. If you ask him, Elon, do you have enough money? Nope. He has bigger aspirations. Talk to one of us and somebody says, wouldn't you like $1 million? $1 million? Wow, that's an awful lot of money. Is it? Once you get it, it's no longer all that much. And today, we're dealing with questions, do I pay the rent? Or do I pay for the food? Or do I pay for something else? So it's that management of that scarce resource that can be used elsewhere. And it's true for government use, or it's true for personal or family use. It doesn't change. Economics is the same or are the same for one individual or one country. The measurement of the user makes no difference. Okay? So with that in mind, we have to move forward and figure out how does that relate to us? Well, on the grand scheme of things, if the government is spending money like a drunken sailor, no offense to sailors, it's just a saying. But there are other people who spend. I don't want to use the term profligate spender. It's easier to say like a drunken sailor. Everyone understands that. So if the government is spending your money because they have no money of their own, they're spending your money and they're allocating these resources for alternate uses than the ones that you have empowered them to spend the money on, that impacts you in every way, shape, and form while you're residing in this country. The same is true for you personally. If you decided to misspend and misallocate this scarce resources that you have only so much of, into areas where they don't belong and you didn't prioritize properly, you're in trouble. So where do we see, what would be the biggest, easiest comparison for us, since I spend a lot of my time talking about the healthcare field? Healthcare field is the greatest example of economics you can imagine. When a person shows up to the emergency room, there is one individual who sits at the front desk in the emergency room, someone called the triage nurse. And the triage nurse gets to determine who gets to see the doctor first. And so doctor is that scarce resource. The nurses and doctors that work in the emergency room are a scarce resource. So the triage nurse has to make that tough determination where we're going to and how we're going to allocate that resource that we have only one or two of in the emergency department, whatever the case may be. Who gets to see the doctor first? Is it the person who stubbed their toes in a lot of pain? Is it a person who's having a heart attack? Is it a person who is almost dead? Or is it a person who is in trouble but has the highest chances for survival if the attention is given today? So these are the tough questions that triage nurse makes when people come in to the emergency room. And that's why the emergency room waiting area is filled with people who are terribly unhappy that they weren't seen first. How come that person went and I did not? I was here first. Well, it's not first come, first served. It is who gets to live and who gets to die. And with money, it's the same thing. It's who gets to eat or who gets to keep the roof over their head. Or what do you do with that resource in case of an emergency within your family? Do you have enough of that scarce resource to meet your needs in case something happens? And that is something that you truly must understand. But you can't understand that until you grasp that first definition of what economics actually is. And how is it that you're going to manage your scarce resource in the time of need? Obviously, food, shelter, and your personal safety come first. And that's where you allocate most of your resources to meet these three needs. A lot of people don't look at it that way. And a lot of people don't plan ahead. And a lot of people don't allocate some resources to meet the needs of emergency. Do people have an emergency fund set up where they allocate their resources religiously on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis or whenever you get your paycheck? What portion of your paycheck goes towards food and shelter? What part of your paycheck will end up in the emergency management fund? What part of your paycheck goes towards setting money aside for co-payments for healthcare? All these questions must be asked. In the next few weeks, I will bring in an expert in this field, and we will help you or help ourselves, me included in this, because the guru is not the greatest of money managers out there, but doing the best that we can. Like I said, you've made it thus far, so some of these decisions, actually, you've made some good decisions before. But as we're trying to improve and evolve, we are going to focus on providing you tools to help you manage your money and actually increase the value of your money in your personal space, in your personal economic environment. All right. So that will be the goal for the next few weeks for us to do that. So I hope to have an exciting speaker and a person who manages money for organizations, speak to you about personal wealth building and personal management of your scarce resources. Well, it's a start, folks. I wanted to get this out there so we can get prepared to meet the challenges of the new year head on and make use of your newfound wealth, which is also a scarce resource because, like I said, there is never enough money. There's never too much money. There's always not enough or none at all. Okay? Let's try to change that in your own personal world, and let's look forward to financial successes, economic gains in the new year. And with that, I bid you farewell for today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next couple of weeks. And I look forward to your comments on this podcast soon.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spent time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and or information about our podcast, email me at thecareerguru@bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, The Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag the new radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanovsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. Hashtag let's career up.